Will Robot Takes Your Job? This is actually a title of a book written by Nicholas Cameron, which was published in 2017. Actually, this is not the only book that talks about the robots' impact on jobs and job market. There are actually a lot of books, report, research, articles, and studies that threatens about the impact of robots on the job market. So, how likely that robots will impact our jobs? Hello everyone, this is Ayman Omar, and today I want to talk about one of the very important topics about the impact of robots on the job market. Rise of the Robots is a book authored by Martin Roth, which was published in 2015. Actually, this book was one of the New York Times best-selling books in the year at almost 2015. And this book actually shows the rising development in the technologies that actually are removing the human works, transfer the human works, which now most of those works are being done by machines, especially now we're seeing the rise of AI. Actually, this book is written 9 years ago, so it's mostly a decade ago technology. But at that time, we have the internet and the telecommunication, and especially software, the highest development in software technology. And the book actually shows many technologies like the MOOC, which is a massive online courses that affecting the educational sector. There's also at the early stage of AI that affecting the health sector, the healthcare sector, and also we can see that there is a lot of development was in the financial sector, and the book actually shows a lot of the rise in this technology and how actually the future is going to be. Maybe we can reach a future where you cannot find jobs. And actually, this was not the only books. Actually, there are many books that talks about the effect of the rise of robots and how it's actually affecting the job market. And almost they will show that actually jobs be taken by robots. But actually, for someone like me who's been in the robot field for almost 2 decades in the field of robotics, for me, mostly when I read these books and try to see the technology that being presented in those books and report, for me, it does not really match the technologies that we are working in, because for us, robots mostly are those physical devices. Generally, of course, the arm manipulator, which is a famous form of robots, which have been on for almost 6 decades. But there are a lot of form and shapes of robots, like the mobile robot, maybe like we have seen now the humanoid robot. But those books actually, when they talk about robot, they mostly describe something like software application, like the use of the internet, which doesn't really match the robot term actually. And I think this seems to be that there's a mismatch. That's what I have noticed. There is a mismatch between the robots, which we know as engineers and we are developing and working on, and the robots that are being pointed out by economics and reporters when they especially talks about the effect of robots on the job market. So okay, why there is maybe mismatch? Because actually if you just look at the terms robot itself, actually the terms actually has appeared the first time, of course, in 1921 in a play, and it has been used a lot in science fiction movies, mostly describe those machines that actually it looks like a human and actually do the human works. So that's why the term actually becomes very very linked to the replacement, the machines that could replace a human. So that's why in this report, mostly people, especially the non-engineers, they use the terms robot to describe any kind of technology that can do the human work. But for me, I believe that the more accurate terms describe this thing is automation, not robots. Actually, automation maybe is more accurate term, because automation is any kind of technology that could do a work by itself, as like either autonomous or semi-autonomous work. So it could be like a software, it could be a hardware, it could be a machine. So it's all under the category of automation. So of course, like, and this automation is the one that actually affecting the job market. But for me, like, there is a lot of type of automation. Like, there is machine, there is application on the internet. So for me, I can maybe put all automation maybe in two groups, just to be simplified. So we have the digital automation. This one is mostly like software that we are seeing, or maybe application that are being used online, and is actually widely used right now, especially with the rise of the internet in the 1990s. There was actually the huge implementation of automation through the internet. Before that, of course, there was a lot of automation in offices, but it's still like, with the rise of computer at that time, we still like limited, but the internet makes it much easier to maybe expand the use of automation online. So companies now, they can maybe automate their works and even gather data online. So mostly like digital automation is mostly focused on the processing of data, and it's actually very easy to develop software. Maybe the cost of developed software is not that high compared maybe to other sector of engineering. So mostly you'll find it's mostly special being done by computer scientists and IT specialists. The other form of automation, which is the hardware automation, most of those are autonomous machines and robots. So those are, I can say, maybe the physical automation. So they must be like a hardware. This one actually, it can process data, but there is an additional factor, which is the competing, like dealing with the law of physics, because it's a physical device that means have to deal with the law of physics, mostly like either like it can gather data from the surrounding, like through sensors, or and also like make some kind of action through motors. And this one actually, it's sometimes a little bit harder to develop, because like hardware, of course, you need materials to develop like those devices, and actually the people who are working to develop those devices are not like from one specialties. So sometimes you need electric engineering, mechanical engineering, in addition also to computer scientists, all like collaborate maybe to build a robot or maybe autonomous machine. And this maybe makes like the physical automation is a little bit costly if you compare it to the digital automation. So how actually the digital automation is affecting the job? Mostly like, and most of the jobs that are being done by in the offices, which we call like the white collar jobs, these are the one mostly had been affected by automation. At the beginning, of course, there was not that much effect, but all of those effects actually appear, especially in the last 2 decades, especially with the rise of the internet. This makes like the process of data much easier. So that's why it could be expanded largely through the internet. But now in the last 10 years, we have seen the rise of AI system. So AI system, like artificial intelligence, had really affected the white collar job, because like AI has the ability to analyze data and come up with pattern. Most of these jobs have been done previously by university graduate, but now those jobs, like especially like in 10 years ago, when we start like seeing the development of AI and being implemented into many sectors, is actually have affected the entry job, which has been previously been used by fresh graduate from university. But recently now, of course, with the rise of ChatGPT, we have seen that the generative AI, this one actually have much higher impact. Actually, it has been, actually now it can do jobs which previously can only be done by not just people with high skills. We are talking about people with university degrees and experience, sometimes decade of experience. This can be now done by just an AI system, and this actually making a huge disruption in the market right now. Like on the other hand, when we talk about the autonomous machine and robots, actually, of course, autonomous machine and robots had appeared very long time ago. Since 1950s, we have seen the introduction of autonomous machine and robots at that time, and has really disrupted the manufacturing. So actually, when robots has been like implemented, introduced into the factories, actually it have disrupted, especially the automotive factories. And the autonomous machine actually had disrupted a lot of like industries at that time. So that's why we have seen like workers had been moving away from the industry, because machines now just are taking their jobs. So it has affected the blue collar jobs, but actually when the introduction of like autonomous machine and robots, when being introduced to the factories, actually we have seen the rise in the like the service sector. So actually jobs has been moving from like the blue collars uh, categories, which mostly like low skilled workers. It's been moved to the like service sector, which is the white collar. That's why gradually people start like moving, like getting higher degree. We have seen expansion in higher education. More people are getting like university degrees, and this is actually how like we have seen an expansion in the like the the white collar jobs. What actually is the effect of the automation? Like we should consider like the digital automation, or maybe autonomous machine and robots. For a long time, there have been a prediction and expectation that we are going toward the future where a lot of jobs will be eliminated and being taken by those kind of automation system and like a robot system. But initial expectation was focusing more on low skilled work, especially like blue collar jobs. So people are expecting, okay, robots is going to take those kind of jobs. And later, maybe with advancement of AI system, we are going to see the elimination of higher skills jobs, especially like those white collar jobs. But actually, what happened now, we have seen that actually the digital automation is much faster in development compared to the physical automation. Because like if a company want to develop a software, mainly mostly like all what you need, just maybe some like expert people in developing those kind of system, and there is no that much of a cost. And as soon as like any kind of an application, like a software or an app has been developed, it can easily expand through the internet. And so like it doesn't matter like if the software is being used by one person or maybe 1,000 person. Like for me now, I'm making this video, so I'm making some effort, but it doesn't matter if at the end it's being watched by one person or 1,000 person. It's still like the same amount of work, and this is the same for software. So that's why it's rapidly could expand, and now with the internet could reach, maybe we can say unlimited reach, can reach everywhere around the world. That's why it have a very fast impact and a very global impact. But on the other hand, like robots or autonomous machine, the development is much slower compared to software. It's need a lot of investment because it's very costly to develop like those machine, and also to manufacture these machines. If you want like to expand it to other countries, to go across borders, then actually you need actually shipment, like also like technical support overseas, and this actually is very costly. That's why like the expansion of robots and autonomous machine are much slower compared to the digital automation. So what actually happened right now? Like if we try to look at the job market, we can see like maybe people with those skills, most like blue collar jobs are in the bottom. We have white collar job in the middle, and we have very high skills on the top, very small, like in the top of the pyramid. So what happened like now with the development of generative AI, especially like we are seeing now with the ChatGPT or similar technology of AI? actually it's disrupting the jobs in the middle. So we are seeing now more like jobs are being disrupted by the latest advancement in AI technology. And this actually created some kind of a gap in the job market. So we are seeing that like the middle part of the job with the people with the skills are being like disrupted. So this actually people either they have to go up and compete against like a very small, like high, like skilled jobs, which are very limited, or they have to go like lower to maybe much lower jobs. And this actually is a trend that's going on right now, because we are not just talking about just only graduated, because in the last decade we are seeing that huge disruption in the university graduates. So people are now, many graduate from universities, they cannot find jobs, and then they have to go for low skilled job in the market. But actually now that like this kind of generative AI technology is going maybe to disrupt people with experience. So we are talking about mid people in their mid career, people in the 40s, sometimes in the 50s. They have seen like their jobs being disrupted by this kind of system. So sometimes maybe they either have if they cannot like develop their skills and find much higher jobs, maybe they will find maybe they will find themselves either they have to change their career or maybe move to lower skilled jobs. So this is actually a huge challenge that we are facing right now. So, and this actually came again to the first question. If we say like, will the robots take your job? Like first, like first we have to be accurate about describing the job, the robot itself. Like if you are talking about software, it means like we are talking about automation. So maybe of course automation, the word automation is much accurate. And and here if we just change the question and we said, okay, will automation take our job? Actually, it's very high likely, according to several studies. We can not say that the job will disappear, but actually that the tasks done by those jobs are going to change. Some tasks is going to be automated, but not all the tasks can be automated. So the jobs that requires mostly like predictive jobs or repeatable jobs, repeatable tasks or predictable tasks, those mostly can easily be like automated. So if you are doing a job that requires like a lot of tasks that can be automated, then in that case maybe this job is going to disappear. But the jobs actually there, if the jobs like does not require like this kind of repeatable task, it may be like more like human skills, like creativity and decision making, problem solving. Then in that case, it's highly likely it's very difficult to automate, and it's going to still be over there. So, and mostly like of course like the AI technology itself is considered to be an added value because it can improve the productivity of your job. But actually, why actually this one actually is also affecting the job market? Because like when companies actually they can find that they can maybe eliminate most of the tasks being done, some in that case they are going to maybe limit it the work, they like reduce their like their worker, their number of employee. So instead if you are employing maybe 10 10 workers, maybe they just have one worker instead. If they have one worker, then maybe they're just going to offshore, because this actually the white collar jobs, because sometimes you can actually through the internet now you can maybe transfer the job overseas to another company, or maybe workers in another country which can get like lower payment. And this actually have a huge effect. So the effect sometimes is not with the technology, but actually the globalization effect is also affecting the job market. So that's why we have a lot of challenges that we have to face right now. So first, we have to accept that this technology is going to disrupt the job market. So those we have to be ready for the changes going to happen in the job market. And this actually will put more like emphasis on us to continuously learning and developing our skills so we can match the new changing in the job market. Because with the new like implementation of AI system and robot system, it means you have to learn new kind of skills so it would be like relevant in the job market. And of course, like people, they cannot do it by themselves. We cannot go forward without the government support, and this is very important. Government have to support in like more like giving like more training and more like subsidies, and also like sometimes financial support for people who maybe they have to go through this transition period. And even I think very important that companies have to take social responsibilities to the effect of the technology that they are using and implementing in their work. So because sometimes companies they don't take responsibility. Yes, use this technology and eliminate like many jobs in their companies, and they didn't take any kind of responsibility toward the people who lost their jobs. So I think companies have to take some social responsibilities, because otherwise we are going to see a lot of rise in unemployment, and nobody will take care of those workers. So I think we are moving toward a very transition period toward like actually seeing a new type of job, a new type of work system, and we have to be ready for this kind of change. So I hope you have benefit from today's talk. Until I see you again, thank you for watching.